We are now recording. Hello, everybody. This is Goldfinger from the Goldfinger Minute, and I have a special guest with me,
Bud
Bud.
Brown,
Yes.
at your service.
Hello, Bud. How are you?
Hi, Goldfinger. Thanks for
Last,
having me over.
last time I
Appreciate
saw
it.
you was a couple of years ago at Gabby's, I think.
Yes.
And you were just leaving the next day.
Yeah. Now, it wasn't because I'd met you. I want you to know that. That wasn't the reason, but
I need to scare you away from the Dumaguete.
it was, it just happened to be the time that we had been here 2 years and we were making plans to go back to visit our kids. We didn't know exactly how long we would stay, but
Mm,
it was a one-way ticket. Yeah.
it was.
So,
And also the health of your wife was a concern.
right. Yes. Her fortunately, we had good medical care while we were there.
Yeah.
But also, the cold weather was not, oh, gee, I'm not a cold weather
In
person.
San Diego, it's cold weather.
Well, you would think, but it's East San Diego is a
Okay.
desert. East, and
Oh, okay.
down almost to the border,
Too far away from the beach, so you're not getting the
far from the beach.
okay.
Yeah,
Or
we're
ocean, I should say.
yeah
Yeah.
2 hours away from.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
south,
South, east, south, and
southeast.
east.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cold, and always a wind, always a cold. Oh, it was.
See, I got acclimated here. I did not like the weather here, but now I don't like air conditioning on at night when I
Yeah.
sleep.
Okay.
I just have a fan. But it
Yes.
took over 2 years for me to do that because
Yeah.
when I first got here, it was aircon, aircon, aircon.
What month did you get here?
Well, I got here in January in
Okay.
2022, I believe it was.
Okay.
And and so it was cooler, of course. It got warmer
Yeah.
as summer came along. And
Yeah.
that was killer. But I had a pool to swim in all the time.
Yeah.
And I literally hid out in the middle of the day
Yeah.
at malls or restaurants. I had backup generators or in case there's powers outage or had air conditioning because I couldn't handle it. Now I can handle it better.
I think that people coming here need to realize, even though it is hot, it can be unbearably hot. There are air conditioned places, stores,
Mm,
restaurants,
yeah.
malls.
Oh yeah, big malls.
So it all depends on how bad you want to stay. I want to. I don't. Here it is. April, May. We got here April 6th, and it's almost. We've been here about a month. But I did know, and I do know that April and May are the hottest months of the year.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So after May, things will start. No, I can get cool.
We actually had a lot of rain late in the season. We had a
Mm,
lot of rain here, so it wasn't so bad. It
yeah,
is hot now.
it's hot now.
It's hot now.
I
It's
mean, there's no
definitely
getting
hot now.
around it.
It's definitely hot now. Uh, so
Mm.
so now, are you back to stay?
Well, everybody asks me
Of
that, and I
course,
ask myself that.
one
And
day
my
at a
answer
time.
is yeah. We did buy a one-way ticket, so that
That's
means
a
that
plus.
that means that we could stay till the end, or it means we could go back next week.
Well,
You know,
that's true.
but on the other hand, we did buy a lot of, and I'm going to have to do a video about this, settling in cost. Oh, refrigerator,
Oh, you had to
stove,
buy furniture and
coffee
stuff.
maker,
Very expensive.
all the microwave, the things that you need. And
Did you rent an apartment or a house?
that's an interesting situation. We lived here 12 years,
Okay.
and the first house we lived in was 4 years, and then we moved two other places, and we stayed about 4 years in each one. Well, when we decided, we've kept communication even though we're in California, and when we let our friend, the neighbor, know that we're probably be coming back, she said, Kuya, that's older brother,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah,
that's what
I
they
know.
call me. Kuya, the house that you lived in is now vacant. What?
Oh,
It
really?
opened up. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. This was in uh, February. She said, but they can't keep it open if you want to. If you want it, you'll have to, pay for it. And I said, well, I understand
And it
that.
wasn't furnished,
Partially, very, very partially.
but you had to buy big appliances, refrigerator,
Right. Yeah.
stove.
It was, yeah. Well, stove, meaning the Filipino two burner
Yeah.
propane
Okay, you got the
stove.
smaller one. Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Tabletop stove.
Tabletop stove,
Yeah.
yeah, which we've learned over the years, that's
That's fine. I
fine.
use that
Yeah,
I use that for a
yeah.
year. Yeah.
Matter of fact, at one time, we had a so-called proper stove that had a oven, We never use the oven. My wife is not a baker, so we
Right.
always use the top. But we had a flight April 6th, and this was in February. So we paid for February and March just to keep it. But I mean, $260. Come on,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
worth it for us.
That was worth it. Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's where we are to answer your
So you're
question.
in a house.
We're in that house.
The house that you were in for 4 years.
Yes.
In Valencia?
No, it's Batingal.
In
I'm
Batingo. Actually, you're right up the street from where I used to live. I used to live in Candoy, which is the
Yeah,
next barangay.
I know that
So,
place.
okay, very nice
Yeah.
area. Very
Uh-huh.
nice. Up and coming area too.
Yeah.
They're building a 7-Eleven right across from the Batingo Elementary School.
They are?
They are. You're going to have a 7-Eleven in Batingo. I know it's up and coming. I'm sure a lot has changed too.
A lot has changed. Well, both way we being in the Philippines for 12 years, I felt like I was Rip Van Winkle that fell asleep. And meanwhile, California, as well as the rest of the states, technology kept advancing and
Mm.
advancing. 12 years, can you imagine?
That's a long
And
time.
so when I came back, well, first of all, sticker shock, that was the big thing.
Yeah.
Oh my,
Expensive in California now,
expensive. Oh,
even down in like the border,
well,
small
yeah,
town.
even the small towns, gasoline was over $5.
Ouch.
But yeah,
Ouch.
so
That's
yeah,
expensive.
that was hard to, and even here's the thing, and I've told people before, and they can't hardly believe it that I was that ignorant, but the debit cards, I've had debit cards, credit cards all my life. I mean, I think I know how to use it. But when I went to this Walmart, which my wife had just missed Walmart so much, it was one of the first places that we went to.
Drop to you drop.
She said, when we got to the cashier, she said, just tap the card. And I had the card, and I'm thinking, tap the card?
Physically tapping the card. Should I tap it on my head, my nose? Bite it. Bite it. I don't know.
No, and finally, she finally came around to the outside of the
Oh
counter.
my
She said, no, you
God.
take the card,
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah. That's
So
a magnetic.
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
yeah, the magnet. Another thing too that was a shock, as you know here, big bills. Well, 1,000 pesos. I mean, the equivalent in dollars is not big, but here
Right.
1,000 is a big bill.
Yeah.
And so, as you know, the shops want smaller bills, even big hotels and stuff. Do you
Here.
have anything smaller? Here,
Here.
here.
Yeah. But not in the
So
U.S.
I had that in my mind,
Uh-huh.
and when we went to Walmart, I said, "Okay, Gloria, here's $100 bill. Go for it."
It didn't go that far.
She called. I went there was a McDonald's inside. I'm sitting there passing the time. She called, honey, you need to come to the register. I got the cashier's holding it up. I'm thinking she's going to say, do you have anything smaller? That's what I'm
Right.
thinking. She said, it's not enough.
Yeah. I thought she was going to say it's fake because she's holding it up. Because unfortunately,
Yeah,
there
but
is
for
fake
some
money
reason,
too.
yeah, she had it. She
So,
said, no, it's not enough. I go, we're in trouble. I looked at the basket. There wasn't that much in there.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
that's a big, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big financial change when you go
Yeah.
back to the States and
Yeah.
you're living here. $100 is it's around 55,000 right now pesos. Man, you can fill 2.5 or 3 baskets full of food here.
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't even spend that much. You
Oh,
spend maybe 10,000 pesos here filling
yeah.
2 baskets.
Yeah.
5,000 fills a basket here,
Yeah.
full of food.
It seems to me,
Pesos,
my opinion,
which is yeah,
that that $100 bill has become like a $20 bill
yeah,
there in the States.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, what 20 used to buy, now it's going to cost you
I
100.
I'm actually making the wrong mistake. They're never gonna correct me. 56,000 would be a $1,000 bill. $100 bill is 5,600. You can fill
Yeah.
2 baskets with
Yeah.
5,600 here.
Yeah.
So everybody's gonna correct me. I better fix that because I'm gonna hear everybody say, "What are you talking about?" No, yeah, 5,600 pesos is a $100 bill.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes I go 3,000 on a basket, but that's because I bought
Yeah.
expensive items,
Yeah.
a lot of meat or
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
But literally, I've never had a basket 5,000 pesos, a single basket, never,
Yeah.
never. Isn't that crazy? Even with wine, if I bought wine or things like that, it's just so
Yeah.
you can't spend that much. It's crazy.
No, I know it's a wonderful feeling, but I wish that I hadn't, and I did have, of course, um, I had a cushion and I had extra money for settling in, and so I was there. But man,
What about all the stuff that you bought while you were in the States? What'd you do with that? Give that to your kids
well,
to hold?
we've got several bulk buy-in boxes coming.
Oh, you shipped it.
Yeah,
Oh, what
are you
about
familiar with the
oh,
bulk
yeah,
buy-in? Yeah, you know.
I
Okay,
shipped a bunch of boxes to
yeah.
Paul and didn't make it because they closed the Philippines down. I shipped it in January. Yeah, January of 2020, and my ticket was in March. And in March, literally 3 days before I was to fly here, they closed the Philippines down because of COVID. So he got 8 big boxes, actually nine, because one was a double box. And all my tools, all my
Oh,
clothes, all
oh,
brand new sheets, all pots and pan, bought brand new pots and pans.
yeah.
I shipped all kinds of stuff that I'll have here. Nothing electronic except for, let's see, a bicycle. I shipped a bicycle and a boat with a
Oh,
motor,
oh,
everything. And because I planned on using the boat in the water and stuff like
sure.
that, it was an air boat. It was a well
Inflatable.
known. It was a big one.
Mhm.
It was a big boat, heavy duty boat.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Aquarius or something like that. Anyway, after a year and a half, I think I told Paul I paid him to store it for me. I told him, okay, sell it, give it away, donate it. I don't care. It looks like I'm not making it back. And then within a year, I was back, but it's all gone, you know.
Hey, there
So
you go.
you never know what's
You
going to
never
happen.
know.
All my tools, I had Craftsman and expensive
That's
tools,
if there was
hydraulic
one thing I would
tools.
suggest, tools. Bring
Yeah,
good quality tools. Yeah.
good quality tools are a must, but make sure you get them. I didn't get mine. He has a relative that's doing it as a mechanic on bikes. He's loving those tools
Oh,
because
man.
I had I had the full toolboxes.
Yeah.
I had the tools. I had everything air driven. I decided not to electric because
Oh,
it's 220 here. So
yes.
I had
Yes.
all air tools for working on vehicles and cars. I mean, which I knew they had a compressor here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so uh, gone, all gone. So
That the electrical situation here needs to be known to people coming. You know, there's
you
220.
really just shouldn't bring anything 110 volt. I'm gonna
Right.
be honest with you because
Yeah.
it's not gonna work because it's a different sometimes different cycle here. You know, it's
Yeah.
50 cycle versus 60.
Yeah.
In some cases, the voltage obviously is twice the voltage. Okay, uh, hair blowers for sure aren't going to work. Toasters aren't going to. Blenders aren't going. Anything with a motor, it's not going to work. Even when you buy a, uh,
Transformer.
well, you have to buy a transformer, but that doesn't change the cycles, and so they run hot and they could burn up, or you could buy a converter, but most times they don't last because they're made in China. So
It's a good tip. It really
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then people think they could buy the different plugs that they use, but
Yes.
that just changes the plug configuration. It doesn't change the voltage or anything like that.
Oh,
So they'll have a European plug, they'll have a German plug, they'll
uh,
have a, you know, a Philippine Asian plug, and they'll have the American or Canadian style plugs, and it
uh,
just changes the plug, but it doesn't change the voltage or the cycle. So
oh,
you can't use that. It's all in the ebook, actually. I put out an
oh,
ebook.
good.
I don't know if you put out,
Good.
did I ever send you an ebook?
No, I've been waiting for it.
Why
I
not? Why you
haven't.
wait? Why don't you just ask me?
Oh,
I'll send you an ebook.
yeah.
I'll send you an ebook. It has all that
Yeah.
information in there and more, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's kind
But
of clear.
those adapters are good if you have a Filipino appliance
Yeah.
and it just has a different arrangement
Well,
than you have in your
the
house.
Chinese typically will send you two prongs, round prongs,
Uh-huh.
which is in Asia. And here it's similar to the US. It's two prong, but they're flat. They're
Flat.
not round. They're flat
Yes.
and they don't always work. Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
so you need a conversion for that.
Yeah.
But if you're traveling to Europe or other things, you need there's many different types. And
That's another thing getting settled in that I didn't even think about till we got here. Extension
yep,
cords.
yep. Now you could use the US extension cords, but you got to remember it's 220 volts.
Yes.
So if it has, and most of them, if you look at the back, if they have including phone chargers built into them, uh, or a pop relay, just look at the back and see if it says 110, 220.
You're talking about the plug, the block,
Well,
right?
they sometimes they have USB
Oh, on the
connectors
appliance itself?
no, on the power strip.
Oh,
Like
on a power strip.
on the power
Right.
strip, like an
Gotcha.
extension with a power strip, it'll have a
Yes.
USB. So you
Yes.
just make sure on the back it says it'll work on
Okay.
110 or 220
Okay.
because you don't want to. you don't want to have too much voltage going into it if it's going to pop the
Yeah.
breaker
Yeah.
or ruin your
Yeah.
your phone. Of course, phones work here because they use anything with a transformer. It's usually 110 and 220. Well, let's get off of
Yes.
that. That's a long subject. I didn't mean to get into that. We
Oh,
wanted
it's
to talk
okay.
more about you.
Yeah.
So, in any case, now I'm going to ask, is it okay if I ask you some personal questions? I'll try to keep
Well,
it. Just wondering what age you are.
what age I am?
Uh-huh.
Normally, I don't like to say my age because people will pigeonhole you. Oh, you look older than you really are,
I
or
got to
this
ignore
or
the,
that. And I
I think
know
you look a lot younger.
I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you my age, but when I see an old man come up and I meet him for the first time, hello, my name is Peter. I'm 85 years old. I'm thinking, come on, why are you doing that for? I don't like saying I'm Bud, I'm this. But anyway, I'm 75,
Yeah, you don't look.
and
You
but
don't look
thank
it at
you.
all.
But I don't feel sorry.
If you'd asked me, I would have said you're 60, 65.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No,
because
I don't
you look
know,
good. You do look good.
and
I
I'm
wouldn't
not
worry about
exactly
that.
why I haven't don't have a lot of health problems, but
Don't knock it. Knock on wood. Okay. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
you don't have a whole lot of health problems. You're
No.
active. I see you're active.
Yeah, yeah,
You're driving a car around.
yeah.
So you're sharp. So
Well,
that's pretty
you'll
good.
be,
Y-
driving this place.
Yeah, you have to be. You got to watch out for the other guy.
Yeah.
Orville was here, and Orville was 80. Well, he might be 85 now, but he was 84 when he was here 6 months ago. You didn't get to.
Henry?
I don't know. I don't know his last name.
Is
I
a
don't.
Jamaican man?
No,
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 no.
no.
Okay, he passed
Uh,
away. He's the guy, only guy I know named Orville.
Orville was from the States, and
Oh,
he was 84. He was so active.
really?
Oh my God, I couldn't keep up with him walking. He was energetic. He was talkative. He was very positive person. He was an inspiration to a lot of
Oh,
people.
that's
Yeah,
great.
he was great, and he travels from country to country. He's a Rolling Stone.
I
Uh,
may have met
he
him many,
was
many years ago.
he.
Did he go to Cambodia or that
He's been to
Southeast
many
Asia?
countries, but he doesn't stay. Now he might come back. He's talked about coming back to the Philippines, but he's gone on to other countries from here.
This fellow that I had met, and I can't remember, I don't, but he was up there in his 80s, and I think he had a vineyard. He sold wine or had a wine tasting something
Okay,
in
cool.
Napa Valley,
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's him.
I don't think so.
But he
He's not.
but this fellow was, yeah, he was
He's a strict vegetarian.
oh,
They call it a
vegan.
lion. A lion. A lion doesn't eat anything that grows on a plant or a tree, including seasoning. Yeah,
Really?
so
Oh, you're
no
teaching me.
vegetables and no pepper or any kind of seasonings that would grow on plant. Plant seasonings. No, he's strictly meat, uh,
Strictly meat,
strictly meat and fat on the meat. Yeah.
like
Um,
carnivore,
strictly carnivore. Yeah.
strictly.
Yeah.
Well,
Very,
that's something.
very strict.
But he's very
He's
healthy.
very healthy. Yeah.
Oh, isn't that something? Well, you're educating me.
Yeah.
I don't like anything with blood dripping.
Well, he doesn't eat it raw, but he
No,
doesn't
but
eat it
I mean,
rare. But
yeah, but I'm not a I've tried to eat meat, but it's like a sponge that swells up in my mouth, and the more I chew, the more it
you
swells up.
don't
I
eat
don't
meat then,
know.
or what do
So,
you eat?
I do well, chicken technically, I guess, is me, but a
Okay.
chicken breast, white,
Mm.
and, but like the legs with the tendons and the blood vessels,
That
oh,
grosses you out.
freaks me out.
That's interesting. Okay.
Uh,
I do love chicken though,
yeah.
but not if it's red. I ain't gonna eat it if it's red. It's got to be cooked.
My brother has and a lot of maybe your viewers will know, but my viewers know that my brother lives in Mindanao. He's got a chicken farm,
Oh, okay.
and so he raises, and he does it. That's a different subject, but anyway, they're not free range, but he has a big building, a huge building, several buildings, for that the chickens have plenty of room because it's not like a chicken factory
So
that
it's a free range.
free
They call it
range.
free range. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. That's better. It's
yeah,
healthier here. In
yeah,
some ways, it's healthier here because we don't use a lot of insecticides here. It's a
yeah,
lot of natural growing.
yeah.
You get vegetables with bugs on them, so you wash it off.
Sure.
Um, I think Paul argued with me on that, but I'm most of the farmers can't afford all the insecticides and other things. They
Mhm.
just want to grow the plants and keep the birds off them, and they
Yeah.
use nets and
Mhm.
things like that. So I think and vegetables are fresher here. Definitely in the
Mhm.
market, they're brought in
Yeah.
daily.
Yeah.
Fish is fresh.
Yeah.
They bring it up and
Fresh.
day. It's all most of it's daily
We
because
like fish
they
too.
don't have a lot of refrigeration here, so they have to
Well,
be
that's a
daily.
big good point.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
have a lot of refrigeration. But
Yeah.
you want to go to the markets early and get fresh things. So that's why
Yeah.
they open up
Yeah.
like at the crack of dawn. They open up.
Now, are you familiar with the egg situation not needing refrigeration?
Well, I know that as long as they don't wash them off.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's it. That's
but
it.
in the U.S. they wash them off and then you
Mhm.
require refrigeration.
That's it.
But the chicken gives a natural layer to protect the egg.
Mhm.
So yeah, you do not need refrigeration.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't refrigerate our eggs at all. So
Yeah.
they're on the counter, but it's cool in the house. So I have air conditioning. So
Yeah.
it's typically cool in the
Yeah.
house, not hot.
Nice.
Let's
Yeah.
see. We are well, you need to talk more about what your plans are.
Okay.
What are your plans?
Well, uh,
Besides
there's
I know you're retired. I mean,
yeah,
besides being retired, yeah,
I
which
mean, there there's there's thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and then there's reality, which is not always the same. So if just between me, you, and the internet,
hmm
I would stay here forever.
you like Duma.
I liked it. And when I first came, I said to myself, Dumaguete is going to be my home base, and then I'm going to travel the Philippines, and I'm going
Uh,
to travel Southeast Asia.
uh-huh.
But Goldfinger, I was here 20 years. I've only stayed in Dumaguete.
I don't
I
like
don't know.
traveling. I always thought I'd see parts of Philippines, and it
Yeah.
never happened. I've gone to a Bohol, and I've gone to
Mhm,
Sikihor,
mhm.
and I think I've gone to Cebu for a week.
Yeah.
Cebu for a week was too much.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't like the noise and the traffic.
How about Manila? Have you spent any time there?
I spent no time in Manila
Oh, okay.
other than to go in the airport and then leave, and a couple
Mm,
hours later to go on a flight. I was in the airport in Manila, but I
me-
never went outside of the
Same,
airport.
exactly the same. My experience.
Uh,
No.
Manila doesn't interest me because I grew up in Los Angeles.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and Manila reminds me a lot of either Los Angeles or yeah. I'll be honest with you, New York would be better. I'm not going to compare it to New York. New York has an energy that's
Yeah.
different than any other city.
Yeah.
But Los Angeles is dirty in the downtown area. Okay,
Mm,
it's not something you want to walk around in and be
yeah.
taken advantage of or
Yeah.
robbed or things like that. So
Yeah.
that's what Manila reminds me of.
Okay.
But I never went there, so I can't. I'm talking about it, but I only know you for what I saw in
Some people
pictures.
like Manila,
Yeah, I don't.
but maybe the way they're raised and the way they're what they're used to. But like you were talking about these microphones, people have different voices and
Yeah,
we grew up, we see the world through our own eyes,
yeah.
and the only
Have you been
problem,
in Manila?
just like you, over
Okay,
the airport.
on the airport.
And
Okay,
I don't think I would. And the reason I don't think I'm from a small town in Central California,
okay.
Tullare's a little.
Oh, I know Tulare.
Do you really?
Oh, I've been there many times. I
Wow.
used to travel all over, so
Wow. Well, usually when people say, "Where you from?" I say,
it's a
"California."
farming
Then
town.
you get, where between
Olives, I
Fresno and
believe.
Bakersfield, huh?
They're big on olives in
They got the
and
agricultural,
yeah,
man.
it's all
It's
agricultural.
all
Yeah,
they call it
it's quiet. That's a
agribusiness.
quiet town, very quiet.
It is, and
They
it's a
have
little
one jewelry store. I know the jewelry store. So they have one jewelry store in town that I dealt business with.
that's a
So
good one.
yeah,
No, so I'm, a small town guy, and what made this really come to light to me, a few years ago, I I said, I'm in this part of the world, and I was getting ready to go back to the States for some reason. And I said, before I go back, I want to go to Vietnam. I was in a Vietnam conflict or
okay,
whatever they say,
you were okay.
but I was
Veteran.
an interpreter. So
Oh,
I was a liaison between the Vietnamese and the American military.
so
So
you
I
still
had
speak it?
yeah, yeah, I still
Wow.
speak it. Yeah. So um, I I wanted to go there, and I thought, oh, I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I don't know what their attitude. And somebody pointed out to me, said, hold on here. Do you have any negative attitude towards the Germans, towards the Japanese? No,
Oh,
well, it's the same day. That's history. That's the past.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, and the Vietnamese feel the same way. And so I did go there, but it was not a good experience, not because of their attitude, but because I felt like and I went to Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, which is the largest city. I felt like a, what do you call it, a country mouse in the big city. I'm just kind of like,
Screw.
I felt out of place, and just come from the Philippines, right, in the provinces here.
You didn't feel comfortable then because it was too big?
That was my fault. I feel I'm going to give it another chance. I'm going to go
You
back.
gotta go back.
I'm going to go back.
I wanna go there.
Oh, yeah.
That's on my list. Actually, I have to leave next year, January, because 'cause it'll be my 3 years.
Oh,
This coming, next year, January, I have to leave,
yeah,
and Vietnam is number 1 on my list.
yeah. I can speak a little bit of Vietnamese.
I don't speak any. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be
Bây giờ tôi nói
lost.
nói bằng tiếng Việt Nam chắc có lẽ anh
Oh my
không hiểu tôi
goodness.
nói gì. I just said, right now I'm speaking Vietnamese. I don't know if you understand what I'm
Not a
saying.
thing.
It's just a show off.
Okay,
Sorry
we're gonna
about that.
hold it up right here. I'm gonna stop it, but I promise we're not gonna make multiple parts. I just wanna check the sound before we do an hour's worth of videoing, and then I find out that the sound was right. So we're just gonna do a
No.
sound check, okay? So we'll be right back. Hold on, guys. Hello, everybody. We're back, and I'm back with Bud Brown. Sorry, we needed to check the sound. Everything sounds okay.
Yep.
Okay, welcome back. So we just got finished talking about Vietnam. So you're planning on going to visit it again?
Yes, yeah. I There were several things. One, the bottom line was that I felt like a country mouse in a big city. I was overwhelmed by the vendors coming up to me, and so this is why I feel that Manila would not be a comfortable place for me.
Yeah, no,
I
not for
like
me.
the countryside.
I don't like big city.
Yeah, I don't either. I really
Cebu,
don't.
I liked the mall in Cebu, but the traffic was a bit much, so I tried to stay out either in the mall or at the hotel.
Yeah.
Just walking. I used to walk from the hotel. It wasn't very far. Walk from the hotel to the mall. It's like playing chicken trying to cross the street. I mean, or froggy. I mean, it was ridiculous. They don't stop for you. They're like
Yeah.
nuts. Motorcycles, cars, you name.
Yeah.
They're nuts.
Yeah.
I swear they aim for you. So
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
not feel comfortable at all. And then I started
Well,
taking taxi because it was safer.
well, I was told you just you look at the incoming traffic and you just walk and you walk and there would be like a rock in a stream.
Yeah,
That's what I
they
was
go
told.
around you both
Yeah.
ways. I mean,
Yeah.
they're crazy.
Yeah.
They do not stop. No, I'm not doing that again.
What are you driving here in Dumaguete?
I ride a PCX, Honda PCX 160. I ride a motorbike. Now, it's getting a little heavy for me to handle when I stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I have to push it, park it,
Yeah.
that's when I have problems when I'm pushing and parking it.
Oh.
But as long as I'm riding it, it rides itself.
Oh, okay.
There's as long as you have momentum. It's only when I stop I have a little problems. It's a little heavy for me now, and
Are
starting
your
to park
legs
it.
touching, feet touching the ground? I mean,
My
no
feet
problem.
can touch the ground. Yeah, when I'm
Yeah.
riding it though, my feet don't need. I
Yeah.
can balance. I can
Yeah.
balance on it and not move. When I'm on it, it's fine. It's just that when I get off of it, that's when I have a problem balancing it. When
Yeah.
I'm off, when I'm to the side of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's heavy. If I lean it over too far, it's going down.
Oh,
It's too heavy for me to keep it. And so I have to make sure. And especially if I go to park it and there's a dip, and I got to go down and back up, I don't have the strength.
yeah.
I literally don't have the strength. And everywhere here, there's dips everywhere.
Yeah.
Because they pave the road and there'll be a 4 to 6 inch difference between
Yeah.
the gutter or the curb. Okay. And that's what gets me. Okay.
Yeah.
Those get me every time. So I'll usually ask somebody to help me just in
Yeah.
case. Because if I take it really slow and keep my hand on the brake, I can balance it. But
Yeah.
it's
Have you ridden motorcycles before or
no,
this?
only when I got here.
Yeah, that's what I've heard people say
I
that.
started on a 125,
Yeah.
and those are easy
Yeah.
because they're light, so you can handle. You put your feet flat down. You could, I mean, you don't have to worry about leaning. Those are easy. 125s are easy, but I'm a big guy for 125,
Yeah.
and so I don't want to go about me because I've talked about me a lot. But it's always the 125s don't have the suspension.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm looking at the street and I'm going along and I can see a pothole above, and I'm
Yeah.
going, go left, go right, go left. Go. Every time hitting that frickin' pothole, well, I'm thinking
Yeah.
about whether I should go to the left or the
Yeah.
right of it,
Yeah.
and I'm worrying about somebody to my side, I'd hit it, okay? And those things, when they bounce
Yeah.
and I'm on it, I'm gonna lose it, you know?
Yeah.
So the 125s were just too small. Now the 160s are fine. The NMAX is fine. It's a 155.
Yeah.
Carolyn, my fiance, she owns Easy Rider Rentals. So I don't know if you noticed when you came in, there's a lot of bikes.
Yes.
Okay, we rent
Yes.
bikes.
It's fantastic.
We rent scooters
Super.
through Rider Rentals through Carolyn. And I started that by accident. And now we're talking about me instead of you.
No, that's fine.
It's not supposed to be about me. Someone had, I loaned somebody money because they had a medical problem. Okay. And they were unable to pay me back except they could use a card, not for cash, but to buy something. I had them buy me 3 bikes, three 125 clicks at the Honda shop.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm going, okay, I'll try and sell them. Well, nobody wanted to give me even 50% of new price for them. They tried to steal them. I says, never mind. One guy says, hey, can I rent one? I said, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and rent it. It was a neighbor and he rented it and I charged him a fairly fair price, a little bit less than what they would charge everywhere else. And then I says, you know what, that's not bad because the payback will be in about 12 months. He'll get paid off if he just rents it.
There you go.
And then I rented the next one. I rented the next one, and before I knew it, Carolyn, I have a great business for you. Okay, I started doing the numbers and the math, and it's like, I says, this is great because we can, at the rate that they rented it, you can get payback in 10 months. Okay. And then the bike's good for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So,
Did
about a year
oh,
ago, I started renting around April or May of last year, and we're up to about 20 bikes.
I gotta
Uh,
ask, how's business?
very good. Very good. And,
Good to hear
and
that.
I try to buy, I'll be buying more bikes. Here's the weird thing. They don't have 2025 motorbike Hondas out, okay, or Yamahas in the dealerships. Now we're in May, we're coming up
Yeah.
on June, and they don't have anything new. They're selling and they're sold out of 2024. So they're selling 2023 and 2022 if they have it, okay? And they charge full price
What?
because it's different here. Okay.
Yep.
So it's different here. So there's a lot of things learned. So they don't care if it's a year or two old. It doesn't matter if it's 2 years old. The price doesn't go down because it's 2 years old. However, when you go to sell it,
It's different.
yeah, try to sell a 2023 and 2025, and I don't care if it has 500 kilometers on it, which
Yeah.
is nothing at all. You're not going
Yeah.
to get the price,
Yeah.
okay? Because it's 2 years old. It's silly.
Yeah.
So the dealerships will not drop the price, but they don't have 2000. Nobody has 2025 yet, so I've been holding off. And uh, the Honda dealership right up the street from me has no 2024s, and they're selling 2023s and 2022s, and they don't lower the price. They might give you, if you argue with them, they might give you 500 pesos off, which is what, $9?
Yeah.
$9 off of a
Yeah.
$3,000 bike. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It
Yeah.
just doesn't make any sense. Uh,
Yeah.
yes.
Speaking of transportation, um, when we had said that we were coming back, the landlord said, "Oh, great, we got this house opening up." Our neighbor, who's a good friend and uh, friend neighbor, they're helping us so much. They said we have an extra vehicle. You can use it as long as you want. That's this
That's
multi-cab that I'm
awesome. That's
driving
awesome.
now. Yeah, and so eventually we're going to get our own, but one thing at a time. We gotta
I
get our
know.
coffee maker
Just take your
first.
time. I didn't get it. It took a long time for me to,
Yeah,
to
and I
find
don't
things I
like
need.
installments. That was the old
Yeah.
days. I used to think I don't care what it costs. What are the easy monthly payments? That was my old
You can buy,
thinking.
surprisingly, I can buy anything at Robinson's on installments
Yeah,
as long as I have a BDO account.
yeah.
Okay, and they don't check credit. They don't do credit check
No,
here. There's
that's
no
a
FICO scores here,
yeah.
guys.
No, yeah,
So as long as you have a BDO account and you've had it for 3 months,
yeah.
okay,
Mm,
you just give them your card and they'll say, okay, payment is due in 30 days. You could go 12 months
yeah,
on payments, and they
yeah,
do charge a healthy interest. I'll tell you right now, they charge a high interest, but
yeah.
it's instant financing here, and
Yes,
and
yeah.
I didn't realize that. I thought you couldn't finance anything here, and a lot of people told me, foreigners can't get
It's a foreigner.
financing,
Yeah,
but you can if you've been here.
yeah,
You have to be here 3 months in order to get an ACR card, and then you have to have a bank account, BPI, BDO, there's several, Commerce, and you have to have a bank account for 3 months. So if you're here 6 months, 7 months, you actually can't finance anything. But
yeah,
I'll warn you now, interest rates, double digit,
yeah.
20% plus. It's crazy. You know,
Maybe the viewers may be interested in about BDO account, right? Bank account.
yeah.
So I just gave you real quick my our experience. even though we had been here 5 or 6, 7 years, for some reason we decided, I think it's because we wanted to transfer from TransferWise, which is now Wise,
Wise, yeah.
um, to the bank. We went there, but we had just come back from one of the going out of the country
Right.
trips. But before that, we'd been here 3 years or so. And the bank said, no, you have to be here at least 6 months. Yeah, but we've been here 3 years. She said, no, but according to your passport, you just came in.
That's right.
So we did wait another 6 months, and then we opened up a video account. And it was interesting. They wanted to know, where did you get this money that you're putting in?
Yes, they
You've had
question
that
where you get the money.
experience. Yeah.
Yes, I've had that problem.
So if
I
we,
go down to put cash in and they go, "Where did you get this cash from?"
yes,
I said, "Oh, I got it from the ATM." And they go, "Well, where's your receipt
that's
from the
right.
ATM?"
That's exactly.
I didn't used to not take receipts. I didn't need a
Yeah.
receipt. I know where I got it from.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can't accept the cash.
Exactly.
And it wasn't a lot of money.
That was our experience too. So we've learned that take the receipts from the ATM.
Yeah, that's something I don't have in the ebook, actually. I forgot about that. But if you do open up a bank account, they won't accept cash unless you can prove where the cash came from
Yeah,
for deposits.
it's a good point for the people to know that, just
You
one
can
less.
transfer it into your account, though. There's a way around it. If you go to Cebuana or ML Euler, you could actually give them cash. They won't ask you where you got the
Yeah.
cash from, or even Western Union. They don't ask you where you got the cash from, and you could deposit it from Western Union or Cebuana or ML Euler into your bank account,
Oh,
and now you have it in your bank account
Wheeler
if
will
you
do
need it.
that.
I'm sorry?
The M. Wheeler will do that.
Email Euler or
Euler, yeah.
Cebuana, or yeah, you could transfer it into your bank account.
You just tell them. You say,
Well, you tell them where you want money sent. I want money sent. Here's
oh, okay.
50,000 pesos, 100,000 pesos. Because I deal in cash a lot because Carolyn sells a bike, or we buy and sell them too. So
Mhm.
sometimes I end up, if we sell a bike, it'd be 150,000 pesos.
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot take that 150,000 and put it in a bank.
No.
Okay, they're not going to take the sale of a bike
Right.
as a verifiable
Right.
source. Okay, even if I show them the title change and the
Yeah.
paper, they won't do it.
Yeah.
So, but you can, if you need the money in your account or you don't want to keep it at your house, you can actually send it to yourself.
Yeah.
And just walk into, like I said, a Cebuana or ML Euler
Yeah.
or Western Union and send it to your bank account.
That's a good tip.
That's the one way. And it's not too expensive. It's
Yeah.
not very expensive.
Put that in
A
your book.
couple hundred bits. Yeah, the ebook actually is for people that haven't been living here for 6 months and have never been here. Okay, or
Oh, I
haven't been
see.
here in 10 years. It's really for newbies.
Uh-huh.
It used to be
That's good.
Dumaguete for dummies. I used to call it Dumaguete.
Uh,
Now it's the Philippines made simple
okay.
because it covers a lot more than just Dumaguete.
Uh-huh.
Again, getting off on me. We gotta talk more about you. Sorry, everybody's gonna say, "Hey, stop talking and start listening." I'm telling you, I know it. So, okay, so your other plans,
Yeah. So, um, the main number one factor that's going to determine our future is my wife's health.
yes, of course.
When we went to Campo, California, and we had to get as you know, the health system works there. Had to get a primary care, which is
Hmm.
just down the hill from us,
Okay.
and then the way the system is, he referred us to specialists, heart specialist, kidney specialist, dermatologist, uh, and so and then our Medicare, which that's another thing I had to get straightened out. And I might have been misunderstood, or people may have thought that I misspoke when I mentioned this before, that we didn't really have any health bills. What? Medicare doesn't pay
They do
100%. What's
not.
the matter? You
The
gotta
20%
okay.
deductible.
Let me explain. you
Yeah.
know. So I'm going to take this opportunity to say this is what I learned. Medicare, yes. There's a part A and a part B.
Mhm.
Part A is hospitalization with no premium. Part B has a premium. And when I lived here, and I thought I would be here forever, hey, they're
You
taking
dropped B.
120, 130. So just
And
forget
now it's
about
like
it.
200, about
So
180, 190 now.
yeah. So sure enough, when I went
You
back,
didn't have B.
you need to pay those premiums, and I think it was 13 months, or maybe it was even 24 months, that they needed to put a fee on. And I'm not sure exactly.
They have signups at the end of the year,
Yes.
and there's no extra charge if you sign up in their, I'm going to say, their membership time frame. There's a couple months at the end of the
Yes.
year.
Yes.
Okay. But if you sign up before that time frame, you got to back pay.
Oh, that's how that
That's
works.
how it works. Now the B only covers office visits, not 100% as I remember also. Okay. There's still deductibles. You
Okay.
can actually, and then C is, I believe C is medicine. There's also a D, okay, or private insurance, which will cover you on your deductibles, believe it or not. So you could,
Yes.
but if you pay enough insurance, it's costing you too much. You can't live, you can't afford it all. Okay, you might
Right.
as well pay
Right.
the funny part. Well, I'm gonna let you talk, but the funny part is the deductibles you pay in the States covers the 100% fee in the Philippines. The cost of a
Yeah.
deductible
Yeah.
in the States
Yeah.
is 100% of the cost. It's probably cheaper in the Philippines to pay 100% of the fee out of pocket.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
expensive medicine is in the
Yeah.
US,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you found that out.
Yeah. Well, to wrap up how we still got free insurance,
Yes, how did you?
uh, I learned that California, that, well, I'm sure you know this, but there's a Medicaid, which is a
Yes,
federal thing.
yes,
Medicare has to do with your age. Medicaid has to do with your income.
yeah, and Medicare, I'm not correctly, but is Medicare only California?
No, Medicare is federal.
It's federal, okay.
Federal.
Oh,
But
Medi-Cal is California, excuse me.
That's what I was going to
Medi-Cal,
say.
okay.
The Medicaid, which is also federal, but the California part is called Medi-Cal.
Medi-Cal, yeah.
It's essentially Medicaid.
Yes, it
That
is.
has to do with income. Fortunately, we qualified for both Medicare and
Okay.
Medicaid. Medicaid, I mean, yeah, which is Medi-Cal, Lancaster,
Yeah, it
uh,
is.
paid for our premiums,
100%.
100%,
Good for you.
and they paid for our prescriptions. So
Really?
lo and behold,
I didn't
I
know that.
did tell the truth when I said we had no health
So it
insurance.
had to do with your income, and you're obviously retired, and you
Yeah,
receive, do you get a pension or only Social
you get a
Security?
pension?
And Social Security.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
but California teachers do not pay into Social Security fund
Okay.
because they pay into the pension.
Okay.
But before I was taught,
Oh,
I
you got,
started teaching when I was 35. But from
okay.
15 to 35, 20 years, I was in construction. My dad
Okay.
was a contractor. So we did pay
Yeah, yeah.
into
For 20 years, which is
Social
plenty of
Security.
time. You need
Yeah,
about 10 years,
yeah.
40 quarters. Um,
So, yeah, that's right. So, but the problem is with my pension, uh, even though I taught 20 years,
yeah.
every 10 year, no, every 5 or 6 years, I took all my pension money and went to go seek my fortune. I
Uh-oh.
never found it.
You never found your fortune, huh?
So the very last thing I did, the last 8 to 10 years, I said, you know what? I better save up my pension. Don't be spending it.
Good thing.
So a good thing,
Good
yeah.
thing. So for the last how many years you saved up the pension?
8 years,
That's good
yeah.
enough. I mean,
So
so you're okay.
yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. And then the Social Security is just a minimum because, well,
It's
but
funny.
another thing that I didn't know, and probably a lot of things that are I don't know are common knowledge to everybody else.
Yeah.
But my brother one time, little brother, told me, he said, "Is Gloria getting any of your Social Security?" I go, "You mean while I'm still alive?"
Yes.
Yeah. These are friends have they have what's called a spousal benefit.
Yes, they do.
What?
Yep.
Yep. So if she's like, I
So
think
many
the
years you have to be
requirements,
married.
yeah, you got to be married. I think at least 10 years,
10 years.
and she had to be 65
Yep.
years
Gets me
older.
retirement
So
age.
you've heard of this
I do
before.
know about that.
Yeah. So lo and behold, even though I didn't get that much Social Security, she got half of that.
Yeah. She gets
It's
half.
fantastic.
Yeah. My son's autistic and he was on SSI.
Yes.
And when I retired, he got Social Security benefits, 50% of what I get,
There you go.
automatic.
There you
And
go.
it jumped from 600 to over 1,500. He's getting over 1,500 now.
Nice.
So
Nice.
he got a big benefit for
Yeah.
me.
I mean, just recently it jumped.
Uh,
Because recently ours jumped.
no, this
Oh,
happened several years before I even got here,
oh,
but
okay.
it jumped for him. This is
Oh,
15,
good.
this was before I even left, I think before I left the US, but it jumped.
Yeah.
So I'd say 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, good.
I
Good
haven't
for
been
him.
back to the US in several years.
Really?
I went to Mexico for a couple years.
No.
I had to get out of town in Las Vegas, Nevada. They wouldn't let us leave our house, our apartment for several months.
What?
Weren't allowed to leave. We weren't, I was allowed to walk
COVID
around
deal?
I'm sorry?
Was that a COVID
Yeah,
situation?
it's COVID.
Oh, that's
We
why.
couldn't leave the compounds of the property. So I would just get out and walk around the apartment a few times, get some exercise. But basically, I gained a lot of weight from that. That's where I gained the weight now. I got to lose it. Just from sitting and watching TV, and we
Yeah.
could order food. We couldn't go out to the market. The gym's closed. I like to go
Yeah.
out. I used to ride a bike. Couldn't ride a bike. Couldn't go. If I rode a bike, it had to be on the parking lot within the compound.
Wow.
Yeah, and I said, "This is it. I'm out of here."
Yeah.
So I went to Mexico for 2 years.
What part?
I went to Puerto Escondido.
Oh, yes.
It's in Oaxaca State. I
Yes.
actually spent a month or two in Oaxaca, and then I went to Puerto Escondido, which is in the same state, which is on the Pacific coast,
Yeah.
south end. Loved it. Really loved it.
Have you heard of the town Huatulco?
Yeah,
That's right there.
I used to vacation there.
Oh,
Huatuco, great town.
that's what
Huatuco.
I've heard.
Yeah, I used to, it was a couple hour. It was a mountainous 2 or 3 hour drive.
It's
As
in
I
that area, that
Yeah,
region, right?
but
Yeah.
once you got there, it was nice. It was a long drive though. Yeah,
Nice.
I went there 3 or 4 times and spent a
Yeah.
few days there. It was nice. That's the touristy area.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Oh.
It's a little higher price and it's
Mhm.
very nice. Watuco is really nice.
Yeah.
And then anyway, it's not about me. We got to get back to you.
Well, yeah, speaking of Mexico, when I was in high school, I had Central Valley, a lot of farm workers, right,
Right,
from
right.
Mexico, and so my buddies, my amigos, were Mexicanos, and I would talk, and they would show me how to tell me words,
You
this and
speak
that.
Spanish? How
Yeah,
about
I speak
Spanish?
Spanish. Sí, sí, claro.
Uh,
Entonces, well, okay, in English. So when I was in high school, my parents, my mom was a teacher, kindergarten teacher,
uh-huh.
and I said, Mom, I want to go to live with a family in Mexico for the summer. Yeah, okay, you pay half, we'll pay half. Cheapskate parents, you know.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
So I did. I stayed with the family. I really got into the culture. I just loved it. And so ahora yo puedo hablar español como mexicano.
Yeah, see?
Es la cosa. So I love speaking Spanish, and
Yeah.
then that kind of gave
That's
me
pretty
the
good. So that's three languages you know.
well, my major's linguistics, but
Okay.
that's another
Do you
that's
know more
another
than three
yeah,
languages?
that's
Are you serious?
yeah,
Oh, you
that's
gotta be sharp to do that.
well,
What other
you're
languages?
you have to have a passion. That's the thing, you know.
You have to be smart. You have to it's more than that. It is an art, but at the same time, it's very difficult. So how many languages do you know? Which
Well,
ones?
the thing with languages, and I hang around these internet group, polyglot groups,
Uh-huh.
and everybody asks them, but you have to explain that you have different levels. You know,
Okay.
there's different levels. So without saying English, which I think is silly if somebody's a native English speaker saying, "Hey, I speak English," it comes, you know.
Everybody does. Not too difficult.
Like, but Spanish is next to English as far as my fluency goes. And then Tagalog, of course, I've been married for 53 years to a Tagalog
That's
speaker.
awesome.
You know,
53 years.
yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna bump on that across the
there
table.
you go.
Bump. That's
Yeah,
53. Wow, my
it,
parents made it to 50 or 51, not
oh,
53. That's
yeah.
great. That's
Well,
wonderful.
she was 21 and I was 22. And
Young.
her
Yeah.
story, I don't know if you've heard her story or not, but it's on there's two stories that are on Philippine TV.
Okay.
And
No, I haven't actually.
it's about her love story because it's
Oh,
very rare that a Americano and a Filipina so long have been married. You
uh-huh.
know, that's not a
That's
very good
incredible.
English
We're
structure.
talking
So
about
long.
yeah, but we're talking about different languages.
Yeah.
So,
So
so
yeah.
you
So Tagalog, and then of course
Tagalog,
living here in Dumaguete, I had to
Visayan.
learn Bisaya.
You have to
Yeah.
learn Visayan.
And so that's below. But actually, below Tagalog would be Vietnamese because I went
Okay.
to the language school in Monterey. It's called Defense Language Institute, DLI. I went there for a year, and then I was interpreter in Vietnam. So those I feel fairly confident. And of course, with my linguistic studies, I've studied French, Italiano, and which, by the way, I'm going to say this, and you can edit it out if you want to, but Giovanni, right? Gio.
Geo, yeah.
Yeah. In Italian, the GI is not G, it's just J.
Geo.
So GIO is really
Oh,
Joe. Joe.
okay.
Giovanni is what
Okay.
they say. So,
Giovanni.
but because of GIO, we Americans, hey, it
Say
looks like
Geo.
Gio.
That's
Gio.
what it
And,
looks like.
you know,
Yeah.
and he may even
But it's actually
introduce
Joe.
himself as, yeah, but it's Joe.
Giovanni.
Joe. Yeah. So
Interesting.
that's only interesting to people that,
Yeah,
curious
that's
about
cool.
languages. But
Yeah, but it's interesting. I mean,
yeah,
it's true. Okay, cool.
yeah. So those I feel comfortable speaking. Others that I've studied, well, matter of fact, a couple of years ago I started Mandarin studying.
Really?
Yeah, I'm very curious
This
about
is
that.
amazing. Okay, I've
So
never met anybody that knows so many languages. Okay, I think it's incredible. But
here's something that's tomorrow. I'm going to meet a fella. He says he's not into YouTube, so it's not. This will be off the record. But he told me that he speaks Vietnamese and Russian and a couple other languages.
oh,
And of
interesting.
course,
Those are
my
very
ears.
odd, like
Yeah,
Russian and Vietnamese.
yeah,
And if he speaks English, he spoke to you in English, I
yeah,
assume.
yeah.
So, and a couple others,
Well,
maybe
then my
German.
ears perked up like
It
that.
sounds
I go,
interesting. You
oh,
like
let's have
that?
coffee. Have a
It's like
coffee date.
another chess player.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I know. I
all
know.
right, here's what we're gonna do. We're at it
Okay,
for 47 minutes.
okay,
I'm gonna take a break so we
sure.
can use the CR, which
Okay.
CR is in English terms the bathroom, and get a cold drink.
You know what it stands for, right? Oh, do you?
Yeah. Wait a minute. It's comfort room.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, I had to think about that because I
Yeah,
don't. We
yeah.
always say CR,
We don't say
comfort
comfort
room.
room
Yeah, we
anymore.
don't say that in the U.S.
All
But
right.
we're gonna use the comfort room, guys. We're gonna take a break. This might be a part two. Don't hate me for it, but we'll be back with Bud Brown in a little bit. Take care.